This is the Serengeti as never seen before, viewed through the eyes of East African guides Richard Knocker and Jombi, award-winning wildlife photographer Paul Joynson-Hicks, and inspirational filmmaker Eliza. For the first time in decades, this extraordinary wilderness stands almost empty, a unique but bittersweet time to be here. Over 8 days, they'll be bringing you a rare glimpse of the Serengeti and all its inhabitants in a visual diary. We hope this encourages you on your own safari, so together we can continue to conserve this precious wilderness.
It's another chilly early morning start, and it's the last one in the Seronera series. Boo!
Paolo?
Yeah, Ricardo, go.
So, we're heading towards the serval. Do you think you can find the place again?
We have the indisputable, indescribable, inimitable. We have the jumbalicious with us. He can find a needle in a haystack.
So we've come back to where we saw the serval and kitten yesterday. This morning, we're just trying to see if we can find it again. It would be a really amazing thing if we could in this beautiful early morning light.
Eliza, can you hear the screaming lapwings? So that's exactly what we were looking for. So we've seen them. The mum's here. I saw one of the kittens, and Paul said there were actually two. So we've got both of them with the mama this time, which is just fabulous. Looks like some good zebra action going on the right up here, so I'm going to go and see if I can catch that.
Photo tip of the day is about content. What are you photographing and why? So we've got up close to some zebras, so what I'm going to do is photograph today texture. So texture and patterns, because sometimes if you're on safari, you're always looking for that amazing big shot, but actually around us, there is so much texture and patterns in what we see around you. And you often get very close to animals. So yesterday we got very close to a giraffe. Here's that picture. And now I've just got really close to a zebra. So here. So I've zoomed right in, so all I'm getting is the skin, the coat of the animal. And so what you can do then was when you get home, you can put them all together in a kind of collage or something, put in a frame, to put on your wall. It's really lovely. They're great additions to photo books. You can use grass, manes of lions, you can use, dirt, dry dirt, wet dirt. So here's a little example of something that I put together, and good luck, have fun, bye.
Meet the tsetse fly, the scourge of safari goers. It's a blood-sucking fly, can be very uncomfortable, painful when you get bitten. It's really important in this ecosystem because one of the reasons the Serengeti is here at all is because people can't live here. They can't bring their cattle here because the cattle all die from a disease that these tsetse flies carry.
Look what we find. This is a black-necked spitting cobra. We found this snake the other day, and it was very interesting because quite rarely you can find a snake on safari. More likely they always flash out and run away. But this one was really very interesting because it seems like he was just diving his head down into the mud. Probably he's hunting for frogs, we don't know. But you can also see the tongues coming out, trying to smell the air, where the prey are. It is so interesting to see, and you can see all the movement. Look at it. And he's just moving. He didn't even care if we were there. And he's just slowly moving and take its own way, and off he disappear.
Okay, so here's your quiz for today. This is Pooh, as you probably gathered. who did it, and your clue is that it's white. There we go.
Okay, so what a great serval sighting that was today.
So cool.
And yesterday. Totally different servals, were they not?
Yeah, I finally clicked onto that. I was a bit slow.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've got this amazing picture from an amazing photographer, actually, that we've managed to wangle up on the screen now. So on the on the left, we have got the lovely female with her kitten that me and Jombi saw yesterday. On the right, we've got the other adult that we saw clearly today.
Yeah.
So
The bigger of the two from this morning, I think.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. The more confident.
Yeah.
So the female on the left, if you look at her ears, they're very smooth. They've got no notches. The hair's quite pale. And you look on the one on the right, and it's got lots of different notches. Those notches we can use if we find another serval to identify if it's him.
Yeah.
Probably him. Also, because of all those notches, he's obviously older.
Yeah.
Okay.
Possibly even fights, result of fights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, which is another indication that he actually might be a male.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at his neck in this picture, you'll see that it's chunkier than the female on the left. The other thing, if you look at their noses, you see the one on the left, she has got quite a bright pink patch on her nose. The one on the right's much, much paler. So again, probably older on the right. The other thing is the whisker spots. We can't see them very clearly. We need to be side on for the whisker spot identification. But the dots on their cheeks, again, all around their cheeks and their forehead, can be used to identify them if we find any serval again in the Serengeti. So exciting.
It's fantastic. And, you know, thanks to these amazing images. Well done, Helllo.
Yeah.
So, two more amazing photos from the same anonymous, wonderful, fantastic photographer. We'll put them up on the screen for you. This time we're comparing the pupils. You remember the other day Jombi was telling us about the differences in pupils between big cats and small cats. So we've got great photos of serval. You can see in the top photo there, really nice slit, vertical slit pupils. Obviously it's quite bright when you were, was this yesterday evening's one?
This is yesterday evening.
Yesterday evening. So it would still have been fairly light anyway. So the pupils are actually quite narrow at this stage to stop too much light getting in there. And then in the photo of the lion before, clearly at the bright time of the day, you can see really small round pupils. So that actually shows it beautifully.
So why?
Okay, I think this is because smaller cats are more nearly nocturnal. Okay. You know, we all know that big cats, lions, leopards, tigers, are quite happy to hunt and be active during the day, whereas the smaller cats do much more activity at night. And I think slit pupils are better for low light conditions.
Okay, good. Good afternoon, good evening, and thank you. This is our sign-off. We've completed another awesome series here in Seronera. And but before we go, we just want to say a couple of very quick things about positive conservation. So starting with that, Ricardo.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say I've got a huge amount of respect for those of you. I know a lot of people these days are worried about carbon and have decided not to travel because of their carbon imprint. I fully respect that. I think it's a great decision. At the same time, I'd like everybody to consider the positive impact of visiting a country like this. Being in Tanzania, visiting the parks, it provides revenue for the parks to carry on their really important conservation work, and it provides lots of really great jobs, lots of high-value jobs, people who otherwise, I don't know what they'd be doing, but I think that's a huge thing. So do that. When you're balancing out the pros and cons, do realize, of course, there's the carbon footprint, which is terribly important, but do also factor in the positive side of tourism, and I'm a big believer in that.
Okay. Yeah, and also not forgetting about remembering the wildlife book series.
Great series.
You know, which with their profit that they have been supporting conservation worldwide, and it's really impressive. It's really impressive.
Yeah. So the room
beautiful photography.
Yes.
Okay. So the Remembering Wildlife series, they are celebrating the beauty of wildlife.
Yes, absolutely.
And the current book is Remembering Cheetahs. I'm very fortunate to have an image chosen in that.
Yeah. I'm going to say you're not fortunate. You're no, seriously. Okay, we tease you a lot. You're a really good photographer.
Don't.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. So, but all the proceeds go to that, go to conservation, and that is positive conservation, like what you're saying, Ricardo. Tourism, it's positive conservation. Details will be down below. So finally. From me, it's the Comedy Wildlife Photography Awards. So me and a friend, Tom, we set this up a few years ago, and we are celebrating the humour to be found in wildlife. And it's a free-to-enter photo competition, and it's got 1 week left. Slightly less than 1 week. So if you have any funny wildlife pictures, please go to comedywildlifephoto.com. Details will be down there, and enter. And we are celebrating wildlife through humour to engage people in a conservation conversation. I will not be saying that after another few beers. So please think about conservation positively, and it will energize you. So I think that's all from us on that.
Yes.
We would like to say a huge, humongous thanks first and foremost to our beloved boss and director and chief editor, Eliza. Gentlemen, come on. Well done, Eliza.
Standing ovation.
Come on, standing ovation.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
Cheers. Thank you.
to the team.
Well done.
Eliza, you've
Brilliant.
been fabulous. God,
You've been
you've
amazing.
worked wonders. You're miracles. Absolute
Absolutely.
miracles.
So as you all know, there's something like this takes a lot of putting together and all that kind of thing. And without the great support of Tanzania National Parks, we wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you very much, Tanapa. We appreciate that.
Really.
Thank you
So much.
Also, we want to say a huge thanks to Blink for Ali and Amon and Hasnain and the whole crew at Blink. Thank you very much indeed for our internet.
Brilliant.
Much appreciated. To Rian and the team at the Frankfurt Zoological Society, you're the best. Thank you very much. And a great big thank you to Dennis at the Serengeti Cheetah Project and everyone involved in that project. Thank you very much.
I was very jealous that day, really.
We were lucky. You've got one more?
And I'd like to add a huge thank you to our benefactor. You know who you are. Without your support, it would have been very difficult for us to do this series. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's a big sign-off from us. We will see you next time in late July in Kogatende, northern Serengeti, where, fingers crossed, we may see a river crossing, some koppies, different landscape, different wildlife,
Brilliant.
and maybe
Well,
another leopard.
It's going to be amazing.
It'll be more river drama.
More leopards.
Bye all. See you next time. Bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.